Here's a handy lecture. We spent a lot of time on pre-processing and modeling, and now we've reached a pretty good result. However, there is little use in writing a machine learning algorithm without applying it to new data. Usually, when you are not simply practicing your ML skills, you would train a model once, and then save it. Saving a model is the process of creating a file that will contain all the information regarding the machine learning. Roughly speaking, we want to create a file that will store the following information. This machine learning model is a logistic regression. It has these and these coefficients and intercept. The random state that was chosen for the shuffling was 20, and so on. Now, if you paid close attention to this exercise, you would quickly realize that the object reg, which was an instance of the sklearn logistic regression class, contains all this information. In fact, this is the object we use to find the intercept, coefficients, and accuracy. Therefore, it should not come as a surprise that saving the model is equivalent to saving the reg object. This is precisely what we will do. Cool! Now that we know what we need to do, let's learn how to do it. There are several ways. The easiest and most general one involves using the Python module pickle. Pickling is the process of converting a Python object into a character stream. The main idea is that this character stream will contain sufficient information. Then, later, when we would like to convert the character stream into a Python object in another notebook, we will unpickle it. In plain English, this means we will save the reg variable into a file. This file will then be loaded in a new notebook, and thus we'll be able to use the machine learning algorithm. Simple as that. The good thing is that the file size will be less than 1 kilobyte. So, you can easily send it by email, or even on Facebook, and your colleagues and friends can simply unpickle the object and incorporate it in their code. Alright, let's import pickle. Here's the rest of the code to save our regression. There are several important points that need to be made. First, the file name. I will set that to model as it basically contains the model. Second, we've got WB. This stands for write bytes. Conversely, when we unpickle, we will use RB or read bytes. Third, we've got the dump method. When we pickle, we dump the information in a file. When we unpickle, we load it. In the dump method, we specify the object to be dumped, and the rest is just Python syntax. Alright, finally, there is one more subtlety. We must save the absenteeism scalar too. The absenteeism scalar object was used to standardize all numerical variables. What it did was store the columns to scale as well as the mean and the standard deviation of each feature. To further explain why we need to pickle the scalar, think that up until now our code was heavily dependent on training data. Without training data, the machine learning could not be executed at all. But once the model is trained and we have obtained the coefficients, we can save it, as we just have. In this way, we are basically separating the model from the training data for good. Analogically, the information in the absenteeism scalar is needed to pre-process any new data, using the same rules as the ones applied to training data. Thus, we must pickle the scalar too. I will leave the relevant code as homework. So, use the same pickling code to pickle the absenteeism scalar object in a file called scalar. Alright, in our next lesson, we will show you how to deploy these newly created files. Thanks for watching.